Imagine spending 9 whole years of your life trapped in a hospital bed, dedicating every waking second to beating the most brutally difficult, unforgiving indie game ever made. You die thousands of times. You lose your sanity. But finally, you beat the final boss. You feel like a god. But then, a system message pops up on your screen. Tutorial complete. Before you can even process what that means, a blinding light swallows you whole, and you wake up inside the game. Not as a hero, but as a massive, battle-scarred barbarian. And the penalty for anyone finding out you're from the real world? Instant execution. This is the story of a hardcore gamer who gets trapped in a ruthless fantasy world, where his 9 years of game knowledge is his only weapon. Our story starts with a guy who is sick and tired of boring, repetitive modern games. Looking for a real challenge, he discovers an obscure 2D pixel RPG called Dungeon and Stone. It's a game with no guides, no online wikis, and a brutal mechanic. If you die, you lose everything and start from scratch. He casually picks the barbarian class, thinking he'll just play for an hour. But an hour turns into a day. A day turns into a year. For 9 full years, through his entire 20s, this game becomes his obsession. He memorizes every trap, every monster pattern, and every hidden secret. Finally, he stands before the gate of the abyss. With tears of joy, he defeats the boss. But his celebration is cut short. The screen flashes. Welcome to the abyss. Tutorial complete. A blinding light erupts from his monitor. Pain tears through his body, and the real nightmare begins. When he opens his eyes, the hospital room is gone. He is standing in a torch-lit cavern surrounded by towering, muscular warriors. He looks down and realizes he is no longer a frail, sick human. He is trapped inside the body of his in-game barbarian.
They are in the middle of a coming-of-age ceremony. Panic sets in, but he realizes he isn't the only player who got teleported here. A red-haired youth next to him nervously blurts out, "Hey, are we inside Dungeon and Stone?" Instantly, the terrifying chieftain appears. His eyes glow with murderous intent. Without a second of hesitation, the chief swings his weapon and kills the red-haired kid. Blood splatters across our protagonist's face. The chief declares that the boy was possessed by an evil spirit. Our hero's blood runs cold. He realizes the absolute rule of this world. If anyone finds out he is a player, he will be executed on the spot. He swallows his fear and forces a stoic, emotionless expression. But there's a massive problem. The chief is calling out names for the youths to step forward and claim their weapons, and our hero has no idea what this barbarian's name is. If he doesn't step forward, he'll look suspicious and get killed. He decides to take a massive gamble. He calculates exactly 2 seconds of silence after a name is called. "Jandel's son, Bjorn!" The chief roars. 1, 2. No one steps up. Our hero takes a deep breath and steps out from the line. It works. From this day forward, he is Bjorn Jandel. When it's time to choose a weapon, Bjorn uses his 9 years of knowledge. He knows barbarians usually pick giant swords, but they die fast. He picks a heavy shield and a mace, committing to an unkillable tank build. The new warriors are immediately sent out to the labyrinth. As they march, Bjorn wonders if he should run away into the city. Bjorn spawns on the first floor, but his legendary bad luck kicks in. He spawns in the darkness region, a pitch-black zone on the outskirts. System windows don't work here. He can't see anything. Taking a cautious step, a sickening crunch echoes through the cave. A hidden goblin trap snaps shut, mangling his leg. Agony shoots through his body. The trap is coated in paralyzing poison. But Bjorn knows the game's cruel logic. If there's a trap, the goblin is waiting nearby in the dark. He forces himself to stay completely silent. Limping and dragging his bleeding foot, he starts loudly taunting the unseen monster, insulting it, playing the role of a foolish prey. Exhausted, Bjorn collapses to the floor. The goblin, thinking its prey is finally dead, walks right up to his motionless body. But the moment it gets close, Bjorn's eyes snap open. With explosive power, he launches himself at the goblin. His new barbarian body moves on pure instinct. He feels strength he never had as a sick human. "You're the prey now," he roars. He slams the goblin into the ground again and again until it dissolves into white smoke. He picks up his loot, a tiny grade 9 magic crystal, a crystal worth barely enough to buy a single loaf of bread. A crooked smile spreads across his bloody face. Welcome to reality. But the nightmare isn't over. System warnings begin flashing in his vision. Bleeding effect active. The wound on his foot refuses to close. He tries to walk, but the blood loss is too severe. He's forced to crawl through the pitch-black dungeon, leaving a thick trail behind him. Warning: vitality below 5%. He starts to hallucinate. His inner voice tells him to give up. Warning: vitality below 2%. His vision blurs. Just as his eyes are about to close forever, a faint light pierces the darkness. Through his fading sight, he sees them. A fully armed party of veteran adventurers. They stop and stare down at his bleeding form. Bjorn reaches out a trembling hand, begging for help. In this ruthless world, humans can be more dangerous than monsters. Will they save him, or leave him to die in the dark?